Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Ariel, Coralogix CEO, and this quick webinar is going to tell you a little more about one of the most interesting case studies that we had, one of the most interesting customers, which is Capgemini, and how they managed to do their multi-cloud observability using Coralogix with the power of Heroku and Salesforce. With me is Nicholas Richardson, solution architect at Heroku, and Florent Brul, solution architect at Capgemini. And before we dive into the customer story itself, let's walk through Coralogix real quick. So Coralogix is a machine learning powered log analytics platform. We receive data from any source, any format, any structure, proactively monitor that data and alert you on anomalies or alerts that you define so you can become more proactive and take a hold of your data. The process is basically we collect the data, cluster it into templates. So basically figuring out your unique log appearances, learn those logs appearances, behavior parameters and trends, and then benchmark every version you deploy to production to help you release faster and not compromise the quality or stability of your software. We have various use cases that we support. These are just few examples, either monitoring your data using the Grafana integration. We have anomalies, alerts, and benchmarking your versions automatically. Doing data analytics using Kibana or Elastic APIs, the log screen in Coralogix, the logregation features which cluster your data and allows you to learn its behavior, and building custom views and re-indexing data from archive to look at long-term trends, and security. So you can secure your cloud environment, audit, compliance, and even your application layer using Coralogix. The key benefits that you get with Coralogix is, first of all, painless CI/CD. Get automatic version benchmarks, deploy faster, not fearing to basically break your production every time you deploy, because you can actually figure out problems even before they're deployed to production. Coralogix also integrates with the Heroku pipeline seamlessly. So whenever you use the Coralogix add-on for Heroku, you're going to get the version benchmarks feature enabled by default. You get better data-driven SRE teams. You can actually establish SLIs, SLOs on the basis of logging being the most comprehensive source of truth that you have. It has all the information that's happening in your software, and because of the quick integration with Heroku and how Heroku already collects all your data through the Heroku drains, you can, in a single click, collect all that data into Coralogix and perform the analysis based on that. You can also use Coralogix to become a lot more proactive. Logs are one of the most leading indicators to problems in production. And by utilizing the Coralogix anomaly detection and alerting capabilities, you can be ahead of your problems and fix them even before your customers notice. The product supports both logs, matrix, security data, and to all of them, we allow better ROI on data, or basically reduce your TCO by blocking the data that is unnecessary and not paying for it, by choosing different priorities of data, whether it's data you only want to monitor or only want to archive, and then achieving the best overall solution for your environment and your needs. I'm going to hand it over now to Nicholas and Florent to talk a little more about the customer story here. Nicholas?
Thank you, Ariel. I'm honored to have been asked by Coralogix to introduce our Heroku partner, Capgemini, for today's webinar. I'm a member of the customer solution architecture team at Heroku, and my job is to provide deep technical expertise and guidance to ensure our enterprise customers are successful on Heroku. In this case, that has meant working closely with the Capgemini team and the customer to advise them on Heroku best practices, provide them with performance analysis of their chosen solution, and connect them directly with Heroku engineers whenever necessary. Capgemini is a long-standing and valued partner of Salesforce and Heroku. For this project, it was a partnership between Capgemini and Salesforce to build a dedicated multi-cloud integration platform for the customer. Capgemini has chosen to use Heroku as its choice of platform as a service for several Salesforce projects, in part due to the availability of Salesforce integration add-ons like Heroku Connect, which seamlessly syncs data between Salesforce and a Heroku Postgres database. Heroku is also used as a standard runtime platform through the use of Heroku runtime containers, which we call dynos. The project that Florent will describe next is for one of the largest automotive manufacturers in Europe. They have a global presence with an annual revenue of more than $70 billion. They're using Heroku as their main data persistence and transformation layer for this project. In any case, enough from me. Over to you, Florent.
Thanks, Klaus. First of all, myself, thanks to Coralogix team for building this webinar, letting me showcase how we're using this platform. So I'm a Capgemini solution architect and a program architect for Capgemini on this project. As Nicolas said, this project aims to build a new standard CRM platform for a customer, focusing on Salesforce 360 view, like better knowledge, better customer knowledge, enrich data and accurate actions, personalized relationship. This program has been a challenge in bringing together existing systems and a whole new CRM solution through a dedicated integration layer for all inbound and outbound data streams. To achieve that, we're relying on several platforms: Salesforce Clouds, Sales Services, Marketing Cloud, and Salesforce platforms like Heroku, MuleSoft. We're also relying on customer legacy systems, custom partners, and ISV platforms. Currently deployed on both America and Europe, the number of our users will be more than 20K in the coming month and growing. The program roadmap ahead of us includes heavy rollouts as well as enhanced features on the platform. That being said, that quick intro on our program leads us to induce that one success enabler will be the logs management and monitoring platform capabilities, such as the dynamic scalability, enhanced proactive monitoring, or detailed and agile data management. Ariel, if we can switch to the next slide, please. Thanks. So Coralogix checked all the previous boxes. Here are some highlights that helped us choose Coralogix. It integrates with Heroku out of the box as a marketplace add-on. When I say out of the box, it means that we have smooth and almost immediate provisioning scaling through Heroku Marketplace. And the provisioning of Coralogix through Heroku also comes with out-of-the-box alert configuration and forcing easier proactive platform monitoring. Coralogix can also ingest logs from other sources using standard log shipping methods. When the logs are coming in, they can be formatted and restructured using Coralogix rules. As an example, this helps us in converting unstructured Heroku logs into structured JSON format, which allows for easier queries and data management. Again, it leads to proactive monitoring easily. Using alerts, which are basically query-based detections, using alerts enables us to proactively identify issues and shorten response time. In addition, Coralogix can put logs in the context of application lifecycle events tags. As an example, it enables us to very easily understand the impact of new features on the overall health of the system and even identify where the new problems are through automatic tag creation from Heroku deployments. Speaking about alerts, and we'll see that in a few minutes, a cool new feature let us verify the alert configuration dynamically based on the previous 24 hours logs. That's helping a lot in finding the right level of threshold for alerts. Coralogix also comes with machine learning capabilities. It studies the log patterns of deployed applications and can identify deviations from normal behavior. It identifies statistically significant error bursts and gives clues to the root cause. It can also identify process flaws within the application and alert when they are broken. Metrics, which is a new feature as well, is to be deployed in the coming weeks on our project to enhance our long-term deviation monitoring. And Grafana will be ongoing for an MVP review to allow external monitoring of the program and key KPIs. We can maybe switch to the next slide, Ariel. So in this slide, we have an example of the out-of-the-box integration with Heroku. And that without any specific configuration on Coralogix. We can see that every type of the data stream from Heroku is identified easily as a subsystem in Coralogix. You can see that all the workers are identified. The PostgreDB is identified also, and you see directly the count of how many logs are flowing to Coralogix for each and every type of flow. You have also an example of the standard alerts that come through the Heroku provisioning. Basically, it monitors every kind of activity on the runtimes on the platform, every crash, every restart, every boot timeout, etc. And I've provided also a very simple example of how it is provisioned through one to many application. In this sample, we have over 100 application, 100 runtimes flowing to the same Coralogix provisioning. We can move to the next. Cool, thanks. Here in this sample, we can see a sample text, unstructured text of the logs, and based on Coralogix rules, we parse those logs and we extract useful information, structured information that will allow us to query and to monitor specific information in the logs. So from a plain text log analysis, we go to a structured way to analyze our logs, and we can extract easily some duration call of the APIs or some unique pattern identifying each and every call of the interface. Regarding the alerts, I explained earlier that we have a dynamic feature that allows us to verify how many times an alert will be triggered based on the previous 24 hours logs. So you have a sample here, and you have the trends as well on the how many times the queries give some outputs during the 25 hours, and the threshold that has been configured that detects that actually raised the alert. And to play with the threshold, you can you can use the feature called conditions, when you can say how many times such query should appear in the logs to raise an alert. So you have everything at hand to configure in the right way for your project the alerts. Regarding machine learning capabilities, I've put a few examples of how it appears on Coralogix. First, some standard mailing alerts. Every time that Coralogix detects an anomalous flow in the, let's say in the log volume, you get some warning mails. And whenever you click on the mails, you can see either a warning in yellow, the screenshot at the bottom of the screen, that gives you how many times such queries were identified more than the usual pace of your platform, and the same thing on the screenshot on the right. So every time that you have warning or alerts from Coralogix, you get insights of the actual logs that were raising the alerts. Thanks. To sum up, using Coralogix, we were able to enforce consistent and focused defect analysis, helping reducing time to resolution during critical phase of the project, such as dry runs or huge rollouts. We were also able to deploy proactive monitoring of seemingly inconsistent types of applications. For example, the same feature, the same configuration is deployed on Coralogix for alerting purposes on both APIs and huge volume batches. We were also able to easily put at scale our logging and monitoring unified platform through the rollouts, and also enable agile data management from our logs to switch from a build focus, meaning identify defects, to a run focus, using even more dynamic monitoring and machine learning capabilities to detect every abnormality flow in a daily life of run. Coralogix also helped us into adding additional Salesforce components like MuleSoft under a unified management umbrella. And it will also help us bring in more related data source, tier cloud platforms or applications under the same unified umbrella to switch from a proactive business process monitoring. That's it for me, Ariel.
Thank you very much, Florent.
Welcome.
Now let's move over to the Q&A. If any questions that any one of you has, if you guys have specific questions regarding Coralogix, the Heroku platform, or the Capgemini case here, you're more than welcome to type them down right now. When you ask a question, it will be best if you refer it to someone specific, either myself here, Ariel from Coralogix, or Nicholas from Heroku, or Florent from Capgemini. So let's hear your questions, guys. Florent, the question is, how would you define the difficulty of the integration itself in terms of over 100 applications connected to a single deployment?
The integration of Coralogix itself is pretty enough, as the provisioning and the default configuration is out of the box with Heroku. So we have a great ground basis in terms of alerting and standard case management. So that helps a lot in starting with Coralogix at the very beginning of the project. And as said, we've moved from very standard log management to structured data management by using Coralogix rules. And that's more a learning base through the project base. Thank you.
And another question we have here, can Coralogix monitor the CI/CD process? Yes. So I guess that's for me. Coralogix, by integrating to the pipelines, whether it's the Heroku pipelines or other CI/CD tools that you might use, is able to basically rely on our learning of data. So we constantly learn the data, like Florent mentioned. We understand the volumes and trends and anomalies and your alerts also, and the patterns of data, so the unique log appearances and their behavior. So once we have that information, we're able to tie it up to the versions that you deploy. So now we're able to not only tell you that you have an anomaly or an error that is happening more than the usual, but actually be able to say that this error, this anomaly, or this alert has happened after a specific upgrade. So once you use the Heroku add-on for Coralogix, you're automatically integrated to the Heroku pipeline. And when you go to the tag screen in Coralogix and click a tag, you're going to get that benchmark and even be able to click that actual tag and go all the way to the commit that you've performed in Heroku. So that way we're creating this ability to look at data all the way from how it's behaving in production to the actual commit that you've done on your environment. I see a question about how does the pricing model work. So the pricing model is basically based on volume. The volume is calculated on a daily basis with an overage of 10% protection. Depending on how many gigabytes you're sending and how long you want to retain them, you can get a package. Now, one thing that is specifically important to how Coralogix works on Heroku is that we are completely transparent about our pricing, and pricing for Heroku customers is equal or lower to our direct customers because we value the Heroku environment and the partnership with Heroku, and we want to provide customers running there a good deal, basically. Does Coralogix support ML-based alerts? I guess that's for me. I guess that's talking probably about the dynamic alerts. So yeah, Florent mentioned about the ability to measure the effectiveness of an alert and check whether an alert is going to trigger too many times or not. Coralogix also is able to allow you to define what we call dynamic alerts. In these type of alerts, you basically don't define a threshold at all. You only define the minimum threshold for triggering. And instead of choosing to be alerted immediately, or if something happens more or less than a certain amount of times, you can actually choose more than usual. And then Coralogix is going to build that threshold for you automatically and dynamically, and have different thresholds set for different times of the day, which makes a lot of sense because traffic isn't the same throughout time. Can I save Coralogix logs in S3 to reduce costs? Yes, so Coralogix comes with an out-of-the-box S3 archiving. So you only define your S3 bucket, and Coralogix saves the data there per day and hour. More than that, we also now allow re-indexing per specific query. So you can use Coralogix now to not only archive your data in S3, but actually pull specific queries. Let's say you have a customer complaining about something that happened 4 months ago. You just type in that customer ID, go to that time frame, and pull only the relevant data back into Coralogix. Can Coralogix machine learning be used on a Heroku platform? Yes, it's basically we're agnostic to the data type and format. Florent mentioned the great capability of parsing the data, but even if you don't, everything works just the same on any structure of data or unstructured data entirely. We always advise more advanced customers to parse the data like the guys in Capgemini had done. It's a bit of work, but it's creating a more easy way to visualize, alert, and search data, and overall better monitoring, even though it can be a bit hard to parse. But that's why we've developed this parsing engine that makes it easier inside our UI, so you don't have to go back to your code and restructure data. So I see we don't have any other questions. Let me check the chat. Great. Okay. So Florent and Nicholas, if you have anything to add.
There is one more question on the Q&A, maybe the last one. What was the main reasons that Capgemini chose Coralogix as their centralized logging system? Well, like I said, it checked all the boxes that we wanted on the unified platform for all the logs on a project. And it was integrated out of the box with Heroku for starting with the Coralogix platform. So we have all the features, including machine learning capabilities within Coralogix platform, and a very cool setup out of the box with the Heroku integration. So it gives the right pattern, the right way to use this platform from the start. I think I'm done, if there is no more question.
Great. So thanks everyone for joining. This was great. Thank you very much, Florent, for being here and sharing how you guys built this incredible observability capability on top of Coralogix. Coralogix is just the enabler, but at the end of the day, you know, it's you guys who's structured and used it the proper way to give your customers value. And of course, thank you very much, Nicholas, for supporting both Coralogix as a partner that really enjoys being an Heroku partner, and obviously the guys at Capgemini. That's it, I guess. So if you want to check out Coralogix or Heroku or both, go to the Elements page in Heroku, type in Coralogix, and give our add-on a spin. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.